Year 6. Well, you're almost there, aren't you? The end is in sight. Term is coming to an end and the end of your primary career. I wonder how you're feeling. Are you feeling a bit anxious or just dead excited to go to your new high school and make lots of new friends and enjoy new and exciting subjects? I don't know. Well, I've been thinking about going off on new journeys, and I would like to tell you a story about somebody who wasn't necessarily that keen to go where he was being sent. Do you remember Moses? That's right. Last time you saw him, he was probably a baby in a basket being let go in the river. Well, since then he's grown up. He was brought up by the princess, but then he lost his temper and he actually killed someone. And he ran off into the desert. And he's now working for his father-in-law as a shepherd. Come by. Then, one day, as he was wandering along, he saw a burning bush. But to his amazement, the bush itself wasn't burning up. What? Then a voice said, "Moses, Moses." And Moses realized it was God speaking, and he began to shake and covered his face with his hands. Then God said, "Take off your shoes. You're standing on holy ground." I am the God of your ancestors. Your people are trapped in Egypt, and I want you to go and free them. I'm just a shepherd. No one will listen to me. Moses was terrified. He couldn't go back to Egypt. He couldn't speak to the Pharaoh, and he certainly couldn't free his people. So he said, "But I'm no good with words." But God wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily. He knew Moses was the person he needed. "Moses, I need you to speak for me. Be my ears, my eyes, my hands, so that I may free my people." But Moses just shook and stuttered. So God thought and said, "Take your brother Aaron to speak for you." Moses wasn't convinced. So he said, "Who shall I say has sent me?" "Tell them, I am who I am, and I have sent you." Moses still trembled, so God said, "Do not be afraid, my child. I will be with you." Moses wasn't very brave, was he? Mind you, it's not easy to be brave when you've got to go and do something that you've never done before and that you know is going to be really hard. I wonder when you're afraid. Or what are you afraid of? We sometimes get very, very frightened, and those fears can be called phobias. And so we're going to play a game now and see which phobias you know. Now, phobias have some very odd names. So I wonder if you can identify this well-known phobia. This phobia is called arachnophobia. There's a clue. Can you work out? That's it. It's a fear of spiders. Now, there's a long list on the board of different phobias. In twos or threes, can you work out what some of them are? You've got about a minute and a half to work it out. Was that easy? Or was it tricky? Well, there's certainly some weird words in there, aren't there? Let's see how well you did. Okay, here we go. Claustrophobia, a fear of small spaces. I bet a few of you got that one. It's quite a well-known phobia. Then we have this very strange word which means a fear of failure. Monophobia. It means a fear of being alone. Mono means one, so just being on your own. Aquaphobia, a fear of water. Aqua was your clue because that just means water. One that is the fear of falling. Not something I'm frightened of, but you do sometimes have it, don't you, in the middle of a nightmare. This is my favourite one as a dyslexic. It's a fear of long words. You can try pronouncing it in class. And finally, a new fear. This is nomophobia, the fear of being without your phone. Well, how did you do? I don't think I would have done that well. I knew a few of those, but some were completely new to me. Well, whilst you were listening to that, I had a quick change of outfit, so I look even more glamorous than I did before. And we are now going to hear from some people that will be a bit familiar to you about their fears when they first went to school.
When I first left primary school to go to secondary school, I left all my friends behind, and I went forward with two of my friends, and they were put in another class to me, and it was really, really scary the first week because I didn't know anyone in my class, and I only met up with my best friends during playtime or lunchtime. So it's pretty scary on that day, and for the whole of the week until I made new friends, obviously.
When I went to school from primary to middle school, I was just 9 years old. And I had to cycle on my own or with a friend all the way from South Oxford to North Oxford. I dread to think how my parents even had the courage to send me off on that journey. However, I did it. I was so scared every time for the first week. However, when I arrived, I got there safely, and I started then doing it out of habit. It was just something I did. I cycled all the way to school. But it certainly terrified me when I first set off. Your teacher is now going to pause the video and hand out a gift from us called It's Your Move. Then we're going to have a look at it together. Well, I hope you've got your copy now. This is your very own copy, and it's a gift to you from KIGS and from the local churches who want to give you something to help you with this time when you're moving from primary to secondary school. And I'd like you to try and find page 72 in your book. It looks like this. It's Hannah's story. Now, Hannah is somewhat younger than our team of volunteers who are telling you about their experience of moving to a new school. And Hannah says that her biggest concern was, my biggest concern was probably not knowing whether I was going to make new friends or not. You have to remember that everyone else is in the same boat. And it's definitely not a concern now, because as long as you're yourself, you will definitely find some new friends. And I know that I have a lot of friends now. I'd like you to take a moment and think about, with those around you, what it is that you might be a bit fearful about going on to secondary school. And I'm going to ask your teacher to give you a few minutes and pause this video so that you can discuss that. Now we're going to think about a different part of going to high school, thinking about what things you're looking forward to. Maybe it's a subject, maybe it's the school lunches, I don't know. Now, Kate and Pat are going to tell you about their favourite subject, which just so happens to be the same one. Is it the one that you like too?
My favourite subject, I guess, was English. I used to love writing poetry and writing stories and just, writing about life and experiences. Although I was quite young at that age, only 12, goodness. Yeah, always my favourite stuff. I always excelled in English because I loved it so much. I still write poetry, I still write stories. So that gives you some idea of what you love when you're younger. You still love when you're older. So yeah, English, my favourite subject.
When it was my last day at school, I really thought about what life would be like at the new school. And my favourite subject was English. And I was really looking forward to learning a lot more. And looking to meet new friends and make new friends.
So let's see what Hannah's favourite subject was. So we're still on page 72 and 73 in the book. My favourite subject is music. I really love music, and I think if you have a subject that you really enjoy, then definitely take it for your GCSE, because if you enjoy something, you're more likely to do well in it. I love music because it is my passion, and I want to be a songwriter when I'm older. So getting a good GCSE in music is what I'm aiming at. We're going to pause the video, and between you, you're going to talk about what subjects you're really looking forward to studying. So I wonder what subjects you love studying. Were any of you like Pat and Kate, who really enjoyed English? Now, Hannah is a Christian, and so, like Moses, she felt she could rely on God to help her when she went to high school, because Moses trusted God and knew God would go with him when he went back to Egypt. This is what Hannah has to say. Jesus has helped me a lot. At first, I really was scared at moving. I thought that I would never be able to make new friends. But when I prayed to God, he really helped me. And he helped me to make new friends. Sometimes it can be hard to remember to pray to Jesus, but it's up to us to find a time every day when we just talk to God and tell him about our worries. He will always help you. And so, as you prepare to go to high school, I want you to not be frightened, but when you do get a bit worried, just write down your worries or talk to somebody else about them. Because what we've learned today is even when something seems very scary, actually, when you go and do it, it's nowhere near as bad as you think it might be. And for high school, it's an adventure. You're going to discover loads of new and wonderful things. And if you have a look through this book, it gives you lots of ideas of what high school is like. Some of the things that you might want to consider. It might be, am I going to get spots? Well, yes, I'm afraid you probably will do at some point. You might be concerned about the rules, and some of those are explained in here. And you want to sometimes see what other people have experienced, and their stories are in here. And remember, if you need help, ask. And again, in here, there's a section which explains the people, when you're actually in high school, you can ask to help you. I hope you find the book helpful, and I hope you have a fabulous summer. And if you're a person who does get anxious, remember, write down those worries. Talk to somebody else. You can even talk to God if you want to. And if you're going to Todmorden High School, I hope I might see you in there. Otherwise, we wish you all the very best. We'll be praying for you over the summer holidays and as you start your new school. And hopefully we'll see you around town. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.